What's up, everybody? And today we're checking out US Barrett 50 cal Shreds Insurgent with RPG Blood and Gore warning. This is by Jeremiah. We've watched quite a few of their videos in the past, and so as always I will leave a link down below to the original video. Make sure you go over there, give it some love. Anyone who's putting out content like this for people to see what it's actually like on the front lines, whether that be in Ukraine or prior events like Afghan and Iraq, I think it's really important. I think it's really important that this type of stuff stays alive and stays archived on the internet so people are aware of what actually happened during these events. So, with that being said, link down below to Jeremiah. Make sure you go over there, give it a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Before we get started though, got to check out the channel sponsor. Listen, they've been a channel sponsor for over a year now for a reason. Because these things are fantastic, and I will shout from the mountaintops and tell you they're fantastic because they genuinely are. 10% off, link down below, free customization, free bag, ships to the US, sustainable materials, small business here in the UK, and this metal part can come out and go in your dishwasher, which is really good to protect your wood. Honestly, guys, I feel like I talk about them a lot, and I do, but it's because I genuinely believe in the product. And so, yeah. And I also believe in my product. This is Morale, my business. If you want a healthy energy drink, get yourself one here in the UK, going to drinkmorale.com. Other than that, let's pop this up and let's watch it. If you want to recommend me videos, by the way, the best place to do it is Instagram at originalhuman_ or at drinkmorale, my other business. Follow me on Instagram and you can share all the good stuff. Let's go. Boom! Gone.
February 13th, 2010, Marja, Helmand Province, Afghanistan. The Taliban watched from door cracks and firing slits, patient as the dust. And when they showed themselves, even for a split second, a 50 cal turned that second into their last.
Boom.
Marines on the ground fought yard by yard to clear the town. Engineers cleared bomb after bomb from the roads throughout the town. Every step could split the earth wide open. And sitting high above it all, a small team of US Marine snipers sat behind Barrett 50 cal rifles, watching and waiting for the enemy to show itself. And every time the enemy tried to make a move against the Marines on the ground, the snipers answered with overwhelming force.
Boom.
Marja wasn't just a place on a map, it was a maze of life and death carved into the earth. A grid of mud brick homes, pomegranate orchards, and irrigation canals fed by the Helmand River. A farming town packed full of civilians and built like a fortress. For years, the Taliban ran it like their own personal capital. Taxes, courts, checkpoints, drug labs hidden in farm compounds, and foreign fighters.
Isn't it mental that I guess the Taliban won and now they rule the country? It's mental, isn't it?
Drifting in from Pakistan, Iran, and the tribal belts to train and fight.
Well, I say they won. The US and the UK just left. They just left. They didn't technically win. They won on a technicality. You know what I mean?
To the local farmers, it was their home. To the Marines, it was the center of gravity for the Helmand fight, and stepping into it felt like walking into someone else's house in the middle of the night, knowing that they're awake and waiting for you. Operation Mashtarak was a coalition force operation comprised primarily of US Marines and Afghan troops. Hundreds of men moving in by air and ground, crossing canals in the dark, pushing deep into Taliban-held blocks at sunrise. But even with overwhelming numbers, nobody here felt strong yet. In Marja, strength didn't come from how many boots hit the ground, it came from who saw first, who fired first, and who stayed calm when the first gunshot snapped across the field and the entire district held its breath.
Yeah.
Every footstep mattered. Engineers probed the soil for pressure plates, thin copper wires buried inches below the dust. The civilians of the town watched them closely from doorways, windows, and rooftops. But this wasn't just another Afghan village. Every trench line was a rifle pit, every canal bank a firing port, and every child's bicycle leaning on a wall could be rigged to blow. The Taliban was dug in deep here, and they were not going to give up their foothold on this town without a fight. Positioned just behind the advancing line on the high ground was a Marine scout sniper team, equipped with spotting scopes and Barrett M107 50 cal sniper rifles.
Does it sound like this script is wrote by AI? Like, I know this person, Jeremiah, is reading it because it's not an AI voice. Okay, bit of a rant here. I'm starting to become really good at, like, knowing when something's wrote by AI. Because the sentence structure's, like, the same every time. It's like, it's not this, but it's this. And it's like, there's like sentence structures that are very, very similar that AI can do and AI like loves to do. I don't know whether, because there's like different things that this could be. I'm not accusing Jeremiah of using AI here at all, because he might have a similar writing style. What I'm saying is, it seems like them sentence structures, I'm like, I like, it's almost as if like an alarm goes off in my head when I hear it now. And I'm like, that's very similar to what I'm hearing with AI. Could be wrong, obviously, because I know I've wrote stuff in the past, and then when I listen back, I'm like, oh my God, it sounds like AI. And it's not, because I hate AI, but like I'll listen to it back and I'm like, oh, like I see how that said, it's like the M dash. The M dash is really good. And a lot of my favorite author, Brandon Sanderson, uses the M dash, right? I've used the M dash, but I've purposely avoided using the M dash now because ChatGPT uses it. Does that make sense? And like, it's almost as if it's like, because of my avoidance of wanting to avoid sounding like AI, I am purposely avoiding things that I did prior to AI. Isn't that mental? So the way that some of these sentence structures are going on, it makes me feel like some of it's wrote by AI, but it might have used it to help the story and then just edited and changed things, which is fine. If he wants to do that, that's fine. But there was a few little things there I was like, it's not this, but it's this. You get what I'm saying?
Their job wasn't to be the first through the doorway. It was to make sure the Marines who were came home safe. By mid-morning, the air was already vibrating. A squad had pushed deeper toward a cluster of compounds, and machine gun fire barked in the distance. Short, probing bursts, then silence. That silence always came before the real contact. And in that still moment, the sniper team settled lower into their positions because they knew exactly what was coming. And because somewhere out there behind mud and shadows, someone else was settling in too, waiting for the Marines to walk just one step too far. Marja was about to test every Marine on the field, and the first shot of that day wasn't going to be theirs. They often say that battlefields speak before they scream. A door left half open, a motorcycle suddenly gone from a street that was full of them yesterday, children nowhere in sight. The Marines read these signs like a book, and they knew exactly what was waiting for them. But the patrol pushed forward, step by step, gun teams covering cross streets, engineers clearing the road ahead for IEDs, and the sniper team watched everything. Breath slow, rifles still, minds running hotter than the desert ground beneath them. You don't pull a 50 cal trigger for noise, you pull it for necessity, and necessity usually arrives without warning.
Okay, there's a few more red flags with AI text. I could be wrong, and maybe I'm like overanalyzing looking for it now. The story's great though.
First burst came from a shadowy slit cut into a mud wall, the kind insurgents carved out with shovels at night, smooth enough to hide from a drone's eye, deadly enough to pin a squad in seconds. Rounds snapped over the Marines' helmets and chewed dust into their sleeves. The Marines took cover as fast as they can and began returning fire on the enemy's position. But while adrenaline and chaos ran rampant on the ground, the sniper team was slow and methodical.
What's really interesting here, actually, apart from the story, which is genuinely interesting, the footage of like out in Afghan, it's so interesting because we get very minimal footage in Iraq. We get a bit of footage in Afghan. It's a bit blurry, terrible camera footage. And then we get unbelievable footage in Ukraine. And it's as if this is like the first steps to seeing the type of footage we get in Ukraine, where we're seeing legitimate war footage here. It wasn't as accessible and as common as Ukraine footage now, because we get loads of that. But we still get it. It's like the precursor to the Ukraine footage, isn't it, in a way? The way that people have vlogged it and like recorded their endeavors on missions in Afghan. It's very interesting.
Snipers were able to see what others could not. A flicker of dust behind a wall, a rhythm to the fire, the way muzzle flash bent the haze above the reeds. They could see exactly where the enemy was hiding. The lead Barrett 50 cal shifted a few degrees. No rush, no panic. This was math and
Not this. But this said it a couple, done it a couple times. It could be the way he writes.
discipline. The Barrett's crack tore the battlefield apart, a single shot that made the earth flinch. The sniper couldn't see the Taliban fighter. All he could see was the muzzle flash of the PKM through the small hole in the mud wall. So we sent one round straight through the wall, ripping both the wall and the Taliban fighter hiding behind it apart. Immediately, the enemy PKM nest went silent. For the squad pinned in that alley, the world widened again. Breath came back to their lungs, and their shoulders lowered. One pull of a trigger had completely changed the battlefield for the men on the ground. In Marja, victory wasn't a hill or a banner. It was 10 seconds of quiet where there had just been chaos. And a 50 cal rifle had earned those seconds the way Marines always do, with patience, courage, and overwhelming firepower.
Do the US Marines actually get access to 50 cals, or they're specialized snipers? Do you have to... So with the Royal Marines Commandos, right, you join, like me, every Royal Marine Commando, every Royal Marines Commando who gets a Green Beret like I did, you have to do the 32 weeks of training, do your commando tests, and get your green lid. Then you wait, usually it's like 1 to 2 to 3 years before you can specialize in something. Or if you don't purposefully ask to be specialized in something, you sometimes get what's called pinged for something. And it's usually something you don't want. And you can do a specialization for a couple of years you don't want, and then get priority on something you do want. So if you want to be at ML or mortars or sniper, sometimes you can get that ping straight away. Sometimes you have to be a driver or a cook or a clerk first, and then you can get to do it. How does it work with US Marines? Do you become a US Marine first and then go to sniper school? Do you get to choose, or do you get pinged for it? If you do you automatically get a chance to fire the 50 cal, or is that a specialization in itself, like a smaller branch within the snipers? I'd love to know if people are aware of that, because I don't really know how that works in the US.
The first shot had silenced the enemy, and the Marines on the ground were now moving forward again. But that silence wouldn't last long. A single PKM gunner is never the whole threat. Not here, not in Marja. Taliban fire teams fought in shadows and pairs, one gun to pin you, another to kill you when you try to move. The Marines knew it, and so did the snipers overhead. This was just getting started. The patrol pushed on towards the next compound. Engineers sweeped the ground for IEDs. Riflemen watched the rooftops with white knuckles. Every step forward was filled with anxiety, unknowing if they were stepping on an IED or right in the line of fire of another PKM nest.
We did training, because I did 6 months pre-deployment training for Afghan, but then didn't get sent out. I got pinged to do anti-piracy instead. And we had to do all of the tactics for IED, like searching. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Inside the dirt berm overlooking the town, the sniper team stayed focused, watching for any movement ahead of the Marines on the ground. And then in an instant, the silence was broken. An RPG streaked across the air, detonating just in front of the Marine patrol. The battlefield changed shape in a heartbeat. Now it wasn't a distant gunner behind mud. Now it was a cluster of enemy fighters, a coordinated kill zone. Multiple shooters, RPG teams, and they all had better angles on the Marines. If the Marines tried to fall back, they'd be shot out in the open. If they pushed forward, they'd run straight into another PKM nest. They were pinned down right where the enemy wanted them. The sniper team wasted no time finding their next targets, focusing first on the source of the RPG. It had come from a second-story window on a building overlooking the Marines' position.
Ah, shit.
The Barrett 50 cal shifted to the left and locked in on the window. The sniper took a deep breath and squeezed the trigger.
Oh shit, we're actually going to get the footage of this guy getting hit.
The
There
50
goes his
cal
head. Getting hit by a 50 cal. I'll take your head off. Like, clean off.
didn't hit the shooter, it hit the world he was hiding behind. Mud brick exploded. The firing port vanished in an instant, and with it, the man
It hit the world he was hiding behind?
exploded. The firing port vanished in an instant, and with it, the man behind it. Once again, the 50 cal had completely annihilated the Taliban fighter and the mud wall he was hiding behind.
Okay, so he was behind a wall, it hit the wall, and then obviously went in him through the wall. Okay.
Surged, momentum clawed back. One sniper round opening a door no breaching charge could touch. No noise, no volume, just precision violence at the exact...
Not this, just this. Alright, I'm getting a few red flags there, guys. It's a shame because I love Jeremy. I love this channel. Although, again, I could be 100 billion% wrong here.
Second it mattered. That's the thing about 50 cal snipers in Helmand. They don't win the fight. They open the opportunity for the Marines on the front to get it done. One shot at a time, one Marine saved at a time. The 50 cal sniper sent a few more rounds downrange, hitting a PKM nest and another RPG team.
Holy shit.
And the Marines on the ground handled the rest. And with that, the town went silent again. The Marines now had space to breathe and continue pushing forward to finish what they came to do, but this fight was far from over. A 50 cal sniper isn't a hammer, it's more like a scalpel. People hear the thunder and think...
I don't know, I think it's like a hammer and a scalpel. Thinking hit hard. Have you seen the size of a 50k round? 50 cal round? Have you seen the size of it? It's like massive. That's a solid piece of lead that will make you explode.
Brute force, but behind every shot is a whole lot of math. On a flat range, you shoot what you can see, but out here, you shoot only what you can calculate. The bullet leaves the barrel like a promise, but the world between muzzle and target is alive and shifting. The wind doesn't blow, it boils across farm fields in Helmand, lifting, dropping, curling through alleyways like invisible current. But
yeah, I think he's definitely used an AI script here. But what's really cool about 50 cal, Barrett 50 cal, or any sort of sniper, if you're not aware, there is a lot of things you have to take into account with the math and the calculations of shooting these rounds. And for the most part, from what I've heard, I haven't got experience in this, when you take shots that are a very far distance, you do have to take curvature into account, as far as I'm aware. Dip, obviously. Wind, obviously. All these other things that are quite common. I've heard that you have to take the curvature into account. I don't know whether that's true or not, but I'd love to know what you think in the comments.
While the sniper's world shrank to inches and decimals, the enemy was adjusting too. Fighters in Marja learned to exploit the terrain. Crooked irrigation ditches running like trenches. Compound corners were caked hard like clay armor. Pop-up firing points vanished the moment they barked. They weren't amateurs, they were farmers who became soldiers, and soldiers who knew the land like the back of their hands. The patrol continued to move forward, and then suddenly another burst of enemy fire. Another firing point, higher up this time. They could see just...
This is definitely like a story over the top of a compilation of videos, because we're going in different areas here.
A sliver of muzzle flash in a 2-inch cutout in a wall up ahead. It was yet again another PKM nest placed strategically along the road to stop the patrol. But in the end, it would just be another perfect example of why the Barrett 50 cal was so invaluable on operations like this. The thick mud wall kept the Taliban PKM nest safe from the small arms fire coming from the Marines on the ground. But the Barrett 50 cal was going to chew through that mud wall like cardboard.
I don't know, some of them mud walls out in Afghan, apparently, because I didn't go Afghan, I did anti-piracy, that was my specialization. I had some mates tell me, them walls, like, can take a hit and they will stay there. Like, that compact mud can legit take some heavy rounds and not shift it. 100%.
Most of the Marines on the ground never even saw the target. They only saw the result. The thick mud wall split straight down the middle in an instant, and the sudden stop to the enemy's fire. And that's the role of the Marine sniper. Not glory, not noise, just precision in a place...
Not this, not this, this. Wow. 3 times now. 3 times.
surrounded by chaos. There's no cheering after the 50 cal round.
I'm going to keep watching it. Usually, like, there's been a few times where I've noticed stuff like that and I've stopped recording and just deleted it. But I actually think there's some good quality content here as well, actually. And I do like Jeremiah's channel. I think it's really, really good. So I think there's something to still get out of this.
Victory yell, just a nod, a deep breath, and then another few meters earned towards the target compound. In Marja, progress wasn't miles, it was yards, won by quick decisions and bravery. The Marines continued to push through the town, clearing out PKM nests and Taliban fighters as they went. Killing in a war like this isn't just marksmanship, it's judgment. In Helmand, the Taliban didn't hide in mountains, they hid in other people's lives. Farmers in the field at sunrise were real farmers. Fathers in doorways.
I think that's what makes the Afghan and Iraq war so unique, is that the enemy was hiding in plain sight. There's a story of Zulu company, I'm pretty sure, the company that I was in the Royal Marines. I could be right, it could have been Zulu, but it was Herrick 12, Op Herrick 12, which was the Afghan tour that happened just before I got to 4-5. Was it Herrick 12? It could have been Herrick 10. It could have been. Anyway, it was just before I got to 4-5 Commando, and I got told that these lads were on a patrol, and there was a kid with a wheelbarrow. And so, standard procedure, they told the kid to stop, like, told him to, like, search the wheelbarrow, making sure everything's safe. It was. Yeah, that's fine. They cracked on. They turned around, they came back, didn't search him. The kid and the wheelbarrow blew up, killing 2 lads and injuring another couple. Pretty sure it was 4-5, Herrick 10. I could be wrong. There. Don't quote me. Anyway, it goes to show that things can be hidden anywhere in this war. And I think that's what made Afghan and Iraq so terrifying, is that, like, you don't know who is good and who's not. And that's a dodgy, like in Russia, it's like in Ukraine when you fight in the Russia, it's quite obvious, right? Like World War II, it's quite obvious, right? Everyone's got their own uniform. Everyone's color coded, right? They got a red name tag above their head, right?
Watching strangers with rifles walk through their town. Children chasing chickens through alleys, too young to know which direction death was coming from. And somewhere inside that quiet, men with rifles and hate, waiting for a chance to fire. Some days, the sniper's hardest shot was the one he didn't take. Through a sniper optic, you don't just see targets. You see a grandmother hanging wet laundry while Marines stack on a nearby gate.
Yeah,
you
fair
see a
one.
10-year-old running across a roof with a kite, and your brain screams it's a rifle silhouette for a split second.
Oh,
you see people trying to...
That's true. This is why I'm saying I keep want to watch. That's true. Like, moments of seeing things and thinking it's something and it's not. Kids were out there, right? Families were living there when all this was going on.
Live in a battlefield they never asked for. And between them, sometimes just feet away, a muzzle that is aimed at your brothers. The enemy knew the power of hesitation, and they used it, leaned on it, and weaponized the innocent.
Yeah,
They'd hide their rifle barrels behind a curtain painted with flowers. Machine gunners would crouch behind grain sacks where children had been playing just an hour earlier. It wasn't just about seeing the shot, it was about knowing the right target, the right moment, and the right time to take the shot.
Yeah.
Hesitation wasn't a weakness the Marines had to get over, it was a necessity they had to use. They had to second guess every shot and be certain of what their crosshair was resting on, because once a 50 cal round leaves the barrel, there's no going back. You have to live with whatever damage that bullet does. The easiest thing to do in Helmand Province was to shoot first, but the hardest thing, the thing only the disciplined could do, was to wait for the right moment, to let danger live one more heartbeat so an innocent didn't die in its place. This is what people who never wore the uniform don't understand. Snipers don't take life lightly, they protect it by ending only what they have to. War doesn't just tally bodies, it tallies souls, and long after Marja faded from maps and headlines, there are Marines who still see that place when they close their eyes. still hear that first burst of gunfire, and still feel the weight of every shot they took.
I wonder which sniper in Afghan and Iraq from what country has the highest tally of confirms. We know a Canadian got the longest shot in Afghan, right? Which has now been beaten, as far as I'm aware. The longest shot now, I think, was a Ukrainian. I think I might be wrong. Someone have to let me know who's got the longest shot now, and who's got the highest tally in Afghan Iraq as a sniper.
After 3 weeks of fighting, clearing IEDs, and searching compounds, Marja was finally cleared of all Taliban fighters by the...
And now it's probably completely full of Taliban again because they rule the country. Absolutely shocking, that, isn't it?
U.S. Marines and the Afghan troops. And none of that would have been possible without the Barrett 50 cal sniper rifle and the men behind it.
Do you think the Barrett 50 cal is the most iconic sniper rifle? Because I think it is. It's got to be, right? It's like the one everyone knows of. Like, name a sniper rifle. A lot of people would automatically say Barrett 50 cal. Probably because of stuff like Modern Warfare and all that lot, wouldn't they?
In Helmand, battles didn't end with victory shouts or waving flags. They ended with quiet streets and men who never asked to be heroes, walking off another field where peace had to be paid for, one hard decision at a time. Most people will never know their names, or the dirt they crawled through, or the decisions they carried home on their shoulders. They'll never hear the wind call through the reeds right before the world breaks open. Never feel the weight of holding your fire because a life you didn't come to take stepped into your sights. This wasn't a story about a rifle, it was a story about restraint, courage, and patience, about Marines who didn't fight for glory, they fought for the man next to them, and for the chance that people who lived here could one day walk these fields without fear. The Barrett 50
That didn't end well, did it, though? Because now the Taliban are walking them fields.
cal spoke only when it had to, and when it did, it saved lives. But true
All right, we'll end it. Oh,
strength
let it finish the
wasn't in
sentence.
trigger, it was in the discipline to use it only when it mattered most. This video is in honor of all Marines who fought in Helmand Province, Afghanistan.
Hell yeah. Definitely. I'm not going to say definitely. I'm certain that was wrote with an AI script. But the story itself was really good. Let me know what you think in the comments. And again, couple questions in there, right? There's the question about how it works to become a US Marine sniper specifically. And how do you get a chance to use the Barrett 50 cal, or do all snipers automatically get trained on it? And secondly, who's got the longest sniper shot and who's got the most confirms in Afghan Iraq as a sniper? Let me know in the comments. Link down below to Jeremiah's video. Go check out Jeremiah's channel. It's very, very good. And also check out Chug while you're there, down below. And Morale, best place to recommend videos at originalhuman_. Other than that, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.